Good afternoon, Daisy. How are you doing?
Good afternoon. I'm doing okay. I'm sorry that I rescheduled last week's session. I just really wasn't feeling it. Um, so I apologize for that.
No problem. No problem. It's good to see you. You
Yeah.
mentioned that you wanted to, you did mention you had a tough week, that you wanted to process um, some heavy feelings that you've been experiencing the past week or so.
Yeah, with all honesty, I've actually been experiencing this for like quite a while. I'd say maybe like a few months now, if anything. I just didn't feel like sharing because I always like put it to the side. But I feel like today I'm in this session, I'm really looking for validation rather than problem solving. Because I know we've done that in the past and it's worked, but I feel like right now I
Yes,
just want to be heard.
of course. Yeah, so we could dive in and focus on that. Where would you like to start?
Yeah, so I've just been feeling sudden sadness. You know how I enjoy the sun, like I love
Right.
the sun, and we know how we've talked about taking mindfulness walks, but
Yes.
and I've done them and I still keep doing them, but every time I come back from those walks, like I just feel like this sudden sadness creep in. I feel a lot of like anger, I just get irritated with everybody. And I always catch myself just staring out the window, just like staring and watching the sun, like watching it get darker. And I hate when it gets nighttime
Mhm.
because the sun is gone and when the nighttime comes, I'm unable to sleep. So it's a lot of insomnia
Yeah.
and like it's come back. So, um
Yeah.
and
And
so with the insomnia, I feel like I'm not even getting enough sleep. I end up falling asleep probably like at 3 or 4 in the morning.
mm,
Then my baby wakes up and I'm just feeling super restless and tired all the time. And then plus with school, I just feel like, yeah, the insomnia is really getting to me.
yeah. Yeah, we mentioned that in a previous session how oftentimes the day and night is a representation of how you experience your depression at times. So
Yeah,
I know
yeah.
we spoke about that before. So the insomnia, now are you having trouble falling asleep or staying asleep or both?
I would say trouble falling asleep.
Okay.
Yeah, 'cause there's just a lot of like thoughts I have, like
Mhm.
guilt and shame that I be feeling.
Okay. You said guilt and shame?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Um, what has in what are some changes? Has there been any changes in your routine this past couple weeks that may have been triggering any guilt or shame? I know with the new baby, the restlessness has been something we've been trying to work on during our time together. But has there been anything specific that you can maybe identify that maybe has changed in your routines that's been triggering the guilt or shame?
Yeah, more stressors, I would say. This is my last semester of grad school. So
Congratulations.
thank you. I really appreciate it. But it's my last semester, and so I should be motivated, like, oh my God, this is my last semester. I need to like pull through and be excited. And I
Yeah.
just feel like I hate school and I'm just over it. And with that, it's just like the guilt with some financial stressors that are creeping up. And I
Okay.
feel like most of that's where my guilt is going because
Okay.
I feel like I can't do anything about those problems just because of like, I'm physically like pregnant. I'm
Hmm.
unable to have a baby. So childcare would be a barrier. I can't afford that. And I still feel uncomfortable just leaving my child, because like based of the trauma I've experienced, you already know more about that. But um, so that's its own problems. And I feel
Okay.
like even if I did find a job, like I should be giving birth like in 1 month. So
Hmm.
I'm just like, I can't even, they're not gonna want to offer me a job. They're gonna be like, well, you're gonna leave, so what's the whole point of hiring you?
Okay.
There's just guilt there, and like guilt that like I could be doing something. Like if I'm gonna have a master's, like I could be working, but like
Right.
if I'm not working, then like why do I even why did I work my ass off? Sorry for my language. Why did I work
Okay.
you know why did I work hard if I'm still gonna be struggling? And it's just the guilt where I'm like, I'm not taking care of myself right now, if I'm gonna be completely honest.
Okay.
And I just feel guilty because let's say I do find a job. Um, when would I start working? Because remember last postpartum I shared with you that it didn't go so well. So
Yeah, we had
a
some.
little bit of trauma there. Yeah. So I made the decision that I want to take care of myself with this pregnancy after, postpartum. Um, so I don't have to experience that again. But
Okay.
then, like I said, how is that going to be possible if these financial stressors are there? So that guilt is going to be like, okay, well, if I'm home, I'm going to feel guilty that I'm not doing anything to, overcome those stressors. But yet, if I
Right.
work, there's the guilt of not taking care of myself and not taking care of my kids, being there for them.
Okay. Okay. Um, so you mentioned feeling overwhelmed, right?
Yeah.
Being with expecting, it's your last semester, you don't really feel comfortable. It sounds like leaving um, your current child alone at the moment. I know in previous sessions you spoke about it being difficult leaving your baby at different even family members, and you feeling guilty about working.
Yeah. Yeah, and remember I told you I would cry right after I would drop him off. I would always have like this whole breakdown in my car.
Yes,
And that never changed. It stayed the same until I started working from home, but it's still just so overwhelming.
and you know what? I mean, you mentioned this is your last semester, right? We did discuss during your first year how we were going to get this far. You arrived. It's been a 2-year program, right? If you recall, the last time, I think it was during at the end of the first year, there was similar feelings of guilt and whether or not you made the right decision to go back to school, right?
Yeah,
At that particular time.
yeah.
Do you recall that and what and how you were feeling and some of the things that we were able to do to overcome that?
Yeah, some of the some of the
Oh,
skills we talked
yes.
about, I still remember them. I
Okay.
just feel like right now I just haven't really been wanting to do the skills.
Yes. So you did mention the lack of motivation and isolation. So, have you been going to work?
Um, honestly, I haven't really been going to my internship.
Okay.
Uh, I've been going to class.
Hmm.
And it's like I've just noticed that I haven't been engaged as much.
Right.
And normally I love to engage and I do them with like the readings and everything. And I take notes and it's just then I feel guilty there too because I'm like, okay, well I did all of this and for what? Just to have my video off and just be there sitting listening and like
Yes.
not participate. So it's just I just don't I feel really isolated. Like I don't want to I love to socialize but I just don't want to hang out with anybody. And then I
Right.
feel sad when I don't. So,
Right. Okay.
yeah.
It can be challenging. It can be challenging. Um, you are attempting to juggle a lot. You mentioned being a first-time college graduate. That in itself alone will be overwhelming for a lot of people, right? So then you couple that with being a first-time mom and then being expecting another newborn, right? You're juggling a whole lot. I will say that one of the beauties in parenting, I'm speaking as a father, is that you learn to um, become a parent, right? There's no blueprint, right? There's going to be a lot of things that arise from how you were parented that you might want to change. You'll learn a whole lot of different parenting skills that you'll eventually get better at, right? It's an ongoing process parenting. Right? The financial part, I would say. that it's almost a blessing in disguise because you are in your master's program, right? There's a data that says that only, I think it's 11% or 7% of the population has master's degree. So you're among the elite in that sense. So your internship is going to pay off. The education experience is going to pay off. It's weathering the storm. Um, Continuing to create a support network like you're doing now with us, do therapy, continuing to communicate with your professors when you're feeling isolated and things like that. Um, and through those interactions, creating that support network, um, naturally you'll be able to find just small little lights at the end of the tunnel. Okay,
Yeah. Thank you.
no problem. Now I know you did mention you missed last session, um, which is fine. So I want to give you credit and thank you for at least reaching out. So that showed a lot of growth, a whole lot of growth, reaching out and communicating, right? So you have that skill in you, so you can still use that also when you're feeling isolated and alone, but being overwhelmed in the thoughts that you're having about the decisions you've made over these past 2 years when it comes to your school, right? And how you can use that skill to process some of the guilt and shame. How does that sound?
No, that sounds great. I think it's a good time for me to reflect, self-reflect, and really think about like, do I really want to stay miserable? Because I don't. I really
Right,
don't. I'm like
right.
just yeah. So I really appreciate you help like just giving me validation and just hearing me tell you all
Awesome,
my
awesome,
problems.
awesome. It's always great seeing you. Thank you. I look forward to seeing you next session. Feel free to reach out to me anytime throughout the week if anything else arises or if there's any emergency. Okay.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Daisy.
Thank you. Take care.